Alright, so what we have here is a nice little accident, little Princess Porgy, my daughter had. She was building the Metal Earth mini model, and she had a few pieces break. This is, and I'm dropping it all over the place. This is the hand, and attached to the side of the hand was, or as part of the hand, is this part, which was attached right here. And sometimes when you fold it too much, it breaks apart. So what we're going to do is we are going to try and repair this. There are multiple methods. This method I learned from @iWalid on Instagram, and this is my preferred method for fixing this sort of situation. What you actually end up using is, and I'm going to pull this over here from where she had it stored, the scrap frame. Although I'm not sure I'm going to use this one. This one's possibly a little wonky. You could use it. Actually, there's a spot we can use. What we're going to do is we're going to get our flush cutters out, and we're going to clip out a small piece of this out of this frame to use as reinforcement. So I selected this piece that is pretty straight, and it takes a little bit of work to get the flush cutters to clip through. But now we have, let me see if I can get this up to the camera here. We have a little piece here. And what would be smaller than the areas we're going to have to glue. And I'm going to go ahead and use my flush cutters again to give it a little crease here. Not pinching all the way through, just giving it a light pinch. And I don't know if you can see this. Hello, focus right there. It's not wanting to focus. There's a little crease in there. And that crease will allow you to give it an initial bend. You can use your tweezers to get that bend a little more.
Bendy?
Yeah, good ad, Princess Porgy. Get you the right angle you want. Now, I've found it works best to pre-bend it to the angle that it's going to be. So we're going to look here. And yeah, I don't want that light on, baby. It causes some banding. Actually, we can turn it on. It just washes it out a little bit. Anyways, so my daughter is here. You might hear her whispering. You can speak up, Princess Porgy.
Okay.
Say hi.
Hi.
Hi, there's Princess Porgy. So we're straightening it, trying to pre-shape this hand to what it's going to end up being, and so we can repair it. Now, she didn't, she was very excited about the model, and she wanted to build it on her own. Her brothers built a few. Little Code Wookie built a few himself, and she decided she was going to try one, and she did a fairly good job. She's got this
tiny head.
Right here, we've got the head. She did all of this by herself. Very good job. That is not an easy head to make.
Definitely not.
And Little Code Wookie helped me out here, and he brought me, this is the normal type of sheet you have where you have lots of edge pieces that are long like this. And so this is going to be great. We're going to get a second piece because she also broke, unfortunately, this part of the arm over here. I think you can see it. Yeah, there it is. So we're going to clip off another piece. Thank you,
Daddy,
Little Code
wrong
Wookie.
tool.
You're welcome.
No, this is the flush cutters.
Oh.
Thank you, Princess Porgy.
I thought you used that one last time.
No, I
Yes,
used this one.
No,
Okay, it didn't clip all the way through, so I bent it multiple times.
Bended it.
Bended it. That's funny, huh?
That almost
So I'm
sounds
going
like
to give
one
it a
of the
little
aliens
crease
I've heard
again. You
Sounds
can
like one of the
sort of see that
aliens.
crease there. And then instead of the tweezers, I'm going to use my those pliers that my daughter likes.
Yeah.
These
I
are
like
from the Peace School toolkit. Anyways, once again, we get a
Remember, it
nice
has
little
to be straight.
fold, and that gives us the about 90-degree angles that we're going for. And these are going to basically reinforce those connections. So I'm going to put this sheet aside, and I'm going to get out a tool I like to use in this scenario that makes things really helpful. And I'm going to cheat and prep both of these at once because you have to do the gluing in a couple stages here. I have here the just a sheet and a paper. And yes, Princess Porgy, speak up.
Where did you get that?
I ordered that on Amazon.
Ooh.
It's called a third hand tool. It's very useful. It's got these alligator clips that let you just grab onto things, and you can adjust how it's positioned. And in this scenario, I often like using them to hold two pieces that I'm gluing together, close together. But for the first round, we just need to get these little reinforcements attached to one half of each of these pieces. So we're going to grab those halves, and we're going to get them ready to be held.
Be careful.
I will be extremely careful. We don't want to scratch the metal. That's a very good point, Princess Porgy. So gently I place it inside the alligator clip. And in this case, I'm going to pull this to the side and give it a nice and simple vertical orientation. I don't know if you can see that.
Daddy,
So that
what's the toothpick for?
the sheet, we'll get to the toothpick in a second here.
Okay.
So that's going to
it's
be
the
ready.
glue.
Now this one, we need to make sure we get the right parts exposed. Here on this arm piece, oh, there's not always easy to pick up. Here we go. It goes like this. Can you see it? Yeah, I got that where you can see it connects like that. So I need this edge sticking out from the alligator teeth. So I'm going to orient it like this and gently place it in there.
Daddy,
And once again,
I want to say something.
we need to make sure this has this little silver stripe on the edge. You can't really see that down there. There you go, you can see that. I need to make sure that when I attach this, the silver stripes match up. Yes, Princess Porgy?
Also, you want to know wherever it broke so that you can fix it by saying a whole bunch of squiggly lines. Not squiggly lines, but wherever it broke, there's this.
Yes, there's the jaggedness from the serration they use to make the folding easier. So here I have one of my favorite glue applicating tools.
Toothpick.
Toothpick. Partly my favorite because it's disposable. Because once you've used it, it's got a bunch of glue left over on it. So I tend to just put out a little dab of glue like that.
On a piece of paper.
And I always
Or
try to
paper.
make sure to suck the excess glue back into the tube, which it's not doing. So I push a little air out
Bubble!
and then let it collapse. That way it doesn't glue the...
Lid on.
Yes,
That happened
glue
to
the
one
lid
of
on.
his other things.
And that was no fun. So now what I'm going
It
to
was
do
so hard to open.
is I'm going to use the tip of the the toothpick to get just the barest little, well, you can't even see that at all, barest little glob of super glue on there. And we're going to put it right here
Tiny.
on there. I put the toothpick down. Then I'm going to take up one of my pre-folded pieces
Daddy.
and put it right on, and this is where having a steady hand would be useful. I do not have a steady hand.
I'm not
So
either.
here we go. We're trying to line this up. This is very important to get this alignment right because you're making this permanent with glue. So, and there, I just picked it right back up. You can tell I have not made a lot of videos where I talk, so I'm behaving a little bit nervously here. Have a little nerves affecting my ability to do this. And there we go. I'm feeling, let me look at this. I'm feeling pretty comfortable with that
Daddy, the other
alignment.
model. Be careful with the other model.
The other piece?
Yes.
Yeah. You're so cute. Growling at me. Alright, so I'm going to let that sit and glue. And we're going to get this other side ready as well. Again,
I'm
just
a feisty porky.
Yes, you are the feisty porgy. There's got to be one that's the feisty porgy. Let's see. I'm going to try this new set of tweezers I got. This might be helpful.
Whoa!
Got these tweezers as part of a phone battery replacement kit. Ironically, had a battery problem with the phone. Oh, wow.
But Daddy just got a new phone.
Yeah, and then I got a new phone. But that's not details they need to know. That has nothing to do with this build. My daughter loves talking about all sorts of stuff. She's my little sweetie. Little Code Wookie is doing really good behind me. He's trying to stay quiet so sister can be the star of this video.
He isn't very successful.
He's going to be possibly doing his own builds later on and contributing to the blog. We will see. I think he might enjoy that. So what you can see now maybe is we've got the two little reinforced pieces here and here attached. Let me see if I can lift this up here. And
be careful.
Of course, show you them. And we are going to let those dry. This is super glue. It theoretically can dry quickly, but we like to let it dry for a little while so that the set, it takes more than a few minutes for the glue to cure. So we want to let that set in really well. Yes, thank you, dear. She likes to try and help out. So with that, I'm going to stop the video now, and we will come back when we do the rest, when we attach the rest of the pieces. And those are going to be in two separate things because I'm going to be using both alligator clips to hold the pieces exactly the angles I want them to when I'm gluing them.
But then you'll need 4 to do 2 pieces.
That's why I said we're going to do them one at a time. So it'll be two separate videos. One will be finishing the hand over here, putting that piece on, and one will be putting that piece on. All right, well, that's the end of the first part of the video.
Yay.
Oh, she wants to put her hands in, wave at the camera. She really wanted to be in the camera. She got a boo-boo on her fingers, you can see. But she's better now. All right, well, we will see you at the next part of the video.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, we're back. We're going to continue the process of re-gluing, or reattaching, I should say, the pieces together in this nice little build of Minnie Mouse. My daughter is not going to be here for this one. She is out, but she'll be back for the next piece, I'm pretty sure. And once again, I'm going to turn this way. I've got to make sure that the silver edges are aligned to each other. And this is going to be the fun part, is trying to get everything to line up nicely with each other so that we can glue it. This can be quite challenging and take a lot of time. In fact, I'm not sure I'll be able to do it with this one, with these alligator clips, because as you can see, they can't come together at a good 90-degree angle. So I'm actually going to take this out, and we're going to have to do this and hope that it goes well with a manual alignment. This time, rather than dabbing out, since I'm only doing one spot, I'm going to use the brush and nozzle. I'm going to pull out the, whoa, almost dropped that. Don't want to drop super glue. Pull out the brush, just get a little bit of dab of super glue off the brush, and then slip it back in. So now this time I'm going to put the glue on the tab that's here. I'm going to spread it around. I'm not sure I got enough glue there. I did not get very much glue, so I'm going to get some more. Thought I had more than I had. Again, just get a little bit up off the edge. Sometimes you don't have to get the brush all the way out. You can just get it off the whatever that's called. Put some of that on the tab. There we go. That's better. Put that aside. And then make sure I'm using the right piece, because that's important. I'm going to line this up with the other piece. And drop it. That was smooth, yes. So we're going to try it on this surface here. Nice and gentle and easy. Sometimes it works better when you don't have to hold the whole thing up. I've got it slightly misaligned, so I'm going to reposition it, because we need to get this as exactly aligned as we can. Then I'm going to use this nice little tip here to press down on the tab and get it nice and flush. Now the suction should allow us, yes, we'll go with suction, should allow us to pick it up. There is a slight gap there I'm going to try and address, and then I'm just going to put it back down and let it dry, just like that. And I'm guessing the other one is going to give us just as much trouble. And now I can't figure out what I did with it. Oh, here it is. This one is likely to give us just as much trouble. So we are going to do the same thing with this one and do it without the alligator clips. So Princess Porgy is probably not going to be happy with me that she wasn't here for this part of the video, but she will deal with it. We have another when things go wrong video I'm going to make with her using the same model. She got a little excited, and the instructions on this one are not very clear as to order of operations, so she did something before she attached a certain joint before it was ready, and as a result it's going to be challenging to she twisted the tabs so it's hard to undo without possibly breaking the tabs, which I have totally done that myself. And sometimes it's just better, I'm going to go ahead and bend this, pre-bend that right there. Sometimes it's better to just go ahead and try and sneak some glue in rather than undoing stuff to get back to the point where you had your mishap or you did things out of order. This one's going to be real nice. It has the tab, which I slotted in there to help us with the alignment and holding it where we want it while it glues. And there we go. That is now gluing in place. One of the things you'll find is with these glue jobs, with this sort of situation, you can sometimes end up with a small gap left in there. Oop. Oh, come now. I'm going to use the tweezers here that I used before to try and squeeze the air out of this so we get a good thing. And we'll have a little bit of a damage gap. I don't know if you can see it there. Focus right there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a slight gap, but it's not really that bad a damage in the end. So that's how you can glue reinforce parts, broken parts, with a little bit of the strip of the frame, the sheet, the sprue, whatever you want to call it, some excess piece. You clip that off and you can glue pieces to get back together. I've done this with many of my models. I've helped my kids repair some of their models that way. This was the first time for Princess Porgy. One thing to keep in mind, and I may come back and do a final bit of this video, is when you do continue on and shape something like this, that bit of glue in there is a really brittle connection because it's metal. Metal is not very porous. The glue doesn't get in. So you have to be very careful when folding the things to not put any stress on those joints where that glue is. All right, there we go. We'll see about possibly coming back for another one. All right, so we're back here. I've changed a little about it. We got Princess Porgy here. Back to finish up the glue. Normally I let the glue, when I do this sort of fix, let me see if I can get it up here and actually get it in. Oh, it briefly was in focus. Briefly, ever so briefly. There, you can sorta see the patch job there. I don't know why it won't focus at the right level, but when I do this sort of thing, I let it cure for about 24 hours, most overnight basically. But it's been several days now. Life happens, and we're back here to finish up. And I wanted to show one last bit of this. You can see this one has the patch in there, but it needs to be continued forming. This needs to go into a square. And one thing that you have to be super careful about with these, Princess Porgy, and viewers, is make sure you're always, or you never put the pressure on the piece that has the broken bit, because that join, that glue join, is not super strong. So I make sure that I get a nice good grip over the join and then fold the other part of the pieces. That way that piece stays nice and strong and supported. So there you see, we've now got that finished up. I just wanted to include that little tip for the end of that. Well, yes, she's reminding me we put the pieces on the knolling sheet.
Magnets that it does not get.
Yes, I call them knolling sheets, a term I learned from Adam Savage.
Daddy, it isn't fixed yet.
It's not fixed yet? What do you mean?
Oh, the hole's supposed to be there.
Yes. All right, so we're going to end this video.